Hi, guys. Welcome
Hello.
to the sixth episode of season 2 of the Maker Meetup. My name is Hailey.
And I'm Ronnie.
I'm Annie.
I'm Kelly.
And we have our awesome guest, Sam Raimondi, today from DIY Huntress. Welcome, Sam.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome.
So, if you guys are new here, then welcome to the community. We can't wait to have you here asking us some questions. And if you're returning back from last week, it's great to have you again. Welcome back. We are so stoked to be back here to shine a light on this beautiful creative maker space, and we call it home. It's where we live. We love it. This episode is going to revolve all around landing brand sponsorships and collaborations that will help propel your business forward while making valuable connections within your particular niche or industry that you are in. So, to crank it up a notch, we have Sam here. We'll get into her little intro in a minute. And she is an absolute pro at navigating partnerships with big name brands, and she'll be sharing her insider knowledge with us on the topic today. So I am looking at my notes here, and it looks like we have a little bit of housekeeping to cover. So we're getting real close here. We're all friends. So we got housekeeping now these days. So we added this before our Maker Spotlight. So first one is just a sidebar to make sure that you guys have at least your first name in your social media handles so that we can see on your page. It doesn't have to be your @ blah, blah, blah. It's just if it's in like your bio or in the title of something so that we can see your name. You could put your last name too if you want, but that also helps brands know who you are. So that's something to do tonight as a little bit of homework. So write it down, and then the next thing is we have a Tumblr giveaway winner. So Kelly has the Tumblr.
So we are all so jealous of the winner because we wanted to keep it, but we're excited for you too. We're just like a little bit jealous.
Yes,
I'm so sad to pack this up.
I know.
I'm just gonna cuddle it tonight.
We took nice videos of it and stuff. So we picked the winner at random from the giveaway post. And drum roll, everybody. The winner is Drops of Jupiter Made. So this is Tiffany Nicole.
Yay.
You all know her. We know her really well.
Yep.
Congratulations.
So, Tiffany, we're going to get that to you in the mail as soon as we can.
I'm really jealous. Can I get one in the mail too, please?
No,
Right?
I know.
Seriously.
I want one.
Also, Mermaid Moxie made that awesome Tumblr for everybody who was wondering.
Yes. And she even had some people commenting saying like there should be like a Ryan Mayer Maker one. There should be like a thumbs up. There should be like a whole maker community themed mug. I love it.
I love it. And then as we have been starting to do the last couple of episodes, we are announcing birthdays that are coming up. So Kate Wilkins, I just actually stalked your page today, but happy almost birthday. And if you just want to, go ahead on the Maker Meetup website, go to the community page, and you will have some awesome little surprise for you in your messages, DMs. Just something small.
So happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Kate.
Won't ask how old you're turning.
We should all sing. Just kidding. Okay, wait.
No.
The last housekeeping activity for the day is just to remind you guys that we are doing the $200 give back of Moss Epoxy's credit today as well. So just remember to be interactive with us. Leave some comments. We'll see them. We're going to pick a random winner at the end of this episode. So stick around for that. Yeah. So let's get into it. Let's hit our Maker Spotlight first. So last week, we challenged you to host a giveaway. As you all know, that was the whole theme on your page in order to get accustomed to it, as well as to gain traction and reach on your pages. So all of you who entered, it was just so incredible to see the collaboration ones as well.
Oh, cool. Oh my gosh, I loved them.
Yes.
Me too.
Absolutely.
They were amazing. And it was very hard for me to pick a winner because, I mean, some people had brands that they tagged were literally in the comments, like commenting back to them.
I saw one account had Vistaprint, like the official verified Vistaprint account commented back on their giveaway. I was like, wow.
Okay, that's incredible.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Oh my God, Kate Creates over here said that she won one of the giveaways and had fun doing her own. That is
yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
amazing.
So we narrowed it down to a few people, but then we decided, okay, this is the winner we want to go with this week. And they did a great job. So I'm going to announce it right now. We'll put it up on the screen.
Drum roll.
Their @ handle is periwinkle _ by Mehak.
Wait,
That's
no,
not it.
That's not it. That's not it.
Wrong. Hulk Hogan
Okay.
There it is.
There it is. Okay. So if I am pronouncing their name wrong, I'm so sorry, but it's periwinkle _ by Mehak, and their name is Mehak Roy. So wonderful job. I mean, I love the aesthetic of this.
Yes, me too.
Oh, and
So
it's just a beautiful piece that it's probably cost hundreds of dollars, you know?
Yeah.
This is
And
insane.
This is
giveaway, like
stunning.
post itself, you can see that they put in some like effort and made it look really nice. Like it's going to look good on their aesthetic of their page, which we've totally talked about season 1 and 2, having a professional looking page. So we totally see that.
Yes.
Effort. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And the
It
professional font and their colors go with their page. It looks so cohesive. I love it so much. And it goes with the ocean. Like it's the same colors.
Yeah. And the caption was also easy to read. It was easy to enter. Like that's something that's really good to keep in mind when you're writing a caption. Make it easy for people to enter. And like if you need them to like do a little extra, make it worth it for them. And you definitely did.
Yes, absolutely. Amazing job. We will put you up on our stories after this episode tonight.
Congratulations.
So, I'm sure everybody's wondering when I'm going to get to Sam over here on the freaking side. So I'm going to go ahead and give her a little intro. She's going to talk about herself in a second. So as you guys know, we have our guest today, Sam Raimondi from DIY Huntress. She has 120K followers on Instagram, 57K followers on TikTok, and 139K YouTube subscribers, which is insane. And she's one of the best woodworkers, DIYers, and psychologists out there, in our opinion. She's joining us today to explain how she navigates brand sponsorships, partnerships, collaborations, what has worked for her, and also what hasn't. So, Sam, welcome to the show. Let's hear a little bit about you.
You guys are like way too nice. Hi.
We love
First of all, can we talk about all this amazingness at the beginning of the show? Like, this is awesome. I want to enter everything. So thank you for all of the extra work I'm going to end up doing next week.
Yes, you're welcome.
But hi, I'm Sam from DIY Huntress. I'm so stoked to be here and talk about brand sponsorships and navigating them. You know, it's such a big part of content creation. And I definitely know that a lot of people who start out in social media content creation and sharing their artwork are always curious about this topic. So I think this is going to be awesome tonight.
Woohoo!
Yeah,
Well,
great.
awesome. So you guys should definitely go follow her, DIY Huntress, and she's just so incredible. So we're gonna go ahead and hit her with a question really fast, like a spitfire one, and you guys go ahead and put some questions in the comment section, and we will go ahead down the line and answer the questions with her as fast as we can, because I know they go away when we're looking at them. So Sam, the first question to hit it off is going to be, give us your top 3 tips for landing sponsorships, partnerships, or collaborations.
Okay, I think I got the question. I think I got it. I'm going to pick it up. Okay, so first of all, hi to everyone in the chat. I see like all these hellos, which is making me so happy. And I believe the question was my top 3 tips, correct? For
Yes,
navigating
I don't know what
brand
happened.
sponsorships. It's all good. It's all good.
Okay.
Okay. So top 3 tips, I would say there are a couple that I would say are really easy to start with. Number 1 is you want your brand relationships to be super organic. So the best thing I could say is use things that you like really believe in. So products you believe in, brands you believe in, things that you would really recommend to other people, like truly and deeply. I think that's the first thing, is you always want to make sure that the partnerships that you have are with companies that you believe in and then they believe in you back. So that's number 1. Number 2 is engagement tends to be a lot more valuable than numbers do. So build a community, make friends, cheer each other on. You know, I always say community over competition. You know, make a place where we can have a place where we all cheer each other on, because at the end of the day, you know, those are the people that are going to stick with you and cheer you on throughout your whole journey. And that's what brands are going to want to see too, is that like you have people who are also sitting there being like, yeah, you could do it.
And you said that was like our season 1 superhero.
And that was from you, because
literally.
Sam was actually in one of our live panels. If you guys saw, like from way back in the day, she said that community over competition. And
we quoted her.
Yes, we quote, like you were where like the first season came from, was literally
we branded our season on that quote. We branded our season and our meetup on that quote.
Off of you.
You guys are the best.
Thank you.
No, but for real, like it's so important. You know, I think sometimes a lot of people get very caught up in competition, and the reality is we're all here to cheer each other on, and there's room for everyone to grow in their own ways and to like do their own thing. And I that's what I love the most about being in an online maker community. So I think it's really important to continue to grow that, because at the end of the day, like that is the most important thing, is to cheer other people on and have them cheer you on as well.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. And
Absolutely.
I think the third thing that I would probably say in terms of sponsorships is the worst thing anybody can say to you is no. And at the end of the day, like that's not the worst thing to hear. It's every no is a lesson learned. So I always used to be scared of reaching out because I was afraid people would be like, no way, we want to work with you. But then you kind of navigate those no's a little bit and figure out why they said no and learn from that. So don't be afraid to reach out because of the word no. In fact, use that no as a power to begin to see some yeses in your life.
That's
I love it. That is, I hope you guys have your notebooks out and you're writing.
Yeah. So we have a question, Sam.
Sure.
So how do you get brands to recognize you when you are a smaller account and are just starting out?
I love this question because I don't know if a lot of people know this, but the first brand that ever sponsored me was a brand that I just organically used on my blog, and I love their product, been using them for years. My dad taught me how to do home improvement using their product. And they reached out to me when I was under 10K followers on Instagram. And they were like, we noticed that you've been using our product a lot. You're doing really cool projects. We should probably be paying you for this. Do you do paid sponsorships? And I was like, people get paid for this? Like, what? And that was my first sponsorship, really.
So basically, don't get hung up on that. It doesn't matter. It matters how good of content you put out and how good of a job you're doing at your niche or industry.
Don't we talk about that all the time though, girls? Don't we always say it, where just concentrate on your content and believe in yourself and work on bettering your brand, and it will happen. We say it all the time, and here's our pro.
Our proof.
Yep, that's our proof.
It seriously works though, I'm telling you. Like, I remember the day that happened and I was like, what do I even charge? This is a thing? Is this meant for me? Did this email go to someone else? Like, it is true.
That's probably a good like follow-up question that I think our followers would really love to know the answer to, is how do you like pick your pricing? Especially when you're first starting out and it's like your first one, you have no clue.
So there are definitely a couple of different ways that you can do this. There are different websites that help you kind of price out what what you might be worth. Those are things that can help you guys link in some of your resources. I think that would be fun for some people to check out. Some of them are paid, some of them are free. Another way is to talk to other people in the community who have similar followings, who are also doing sponsorships. A lot of times, at least for me, like I like collaborating in that way and communicating with other makers, because at the end of the day too, we want to all be lifting each other up. And if we're all getting paid similar rates, then that's a really helpful thing. Yeah, so don't be afraid to reach out to people who have similar followings, who you know are friendly enough to be comfortable talking about finances and money, because I think that definitely does help.
That's also an awesome networking opportunity for you and other makers in your community, that you might ask someone like, hey, moment of vulnerability, this is my first time doing this, or like, I don't know what to charge. I would love your advice, because that shows somebody, hey, I look up to you, and also like asking for trust and vulnerability in your fellow makers.
Yeah. I did see a question. I'm sorry, I'm going to hop in. I did see a question. Someone asked, do you name your price for sponsors, or do most have a set rate? This depends. Some sponsors will come to you with a budget and you kind of decide like, all right, is this worth XYZ of what they're giving me? And then some won't. And they may ask you, what's your rate? Or like, what do you charge for something like this? And you may have to have something kind of figured out for that, but that takes practice. You don't need to have your rates figured out right away. The way that I learned is I threw out a number and then I started realizing I'm working way too hard to be making this money. And then I started asking for more, and then they started saying yes, because the level of work I was putting out was actually worth that.
Yeah,
I love that. But I know you also baseline on a lot of like free opportunities first, which we talked last episode about how you got to know when to say no, when a product is not necessarily in your wheelhouse or not going to be great for your long-term goals for what you want your brand to represent. You should be able to say no to the odd out there offers. Free product, but we also mentioned that it was good to say yes to free product when it does fall in line with your brand. So I'm sure you've had a ton of brand sponsorships that came out of free opportunities and maybe turned into paid ones. I think you mentioned you had one of those kind of recently, didn't you?
I did, yeah. So a couple years ago, a brand sent me some stuff to use. They were just starting out. They were a smaller company. They sent me some wood finishing to try, like cutting board oil, cutting board wax, wood wax, furniture wax. And I fell in love with this product. I'd never worked with them before. And I was like, sure, you guys are a new company. Let's do this. Send me some stuff. Let's see how it goes. Fell in love with it over the past couple of years. Every time people ask me for recommendations, I always share their product because I genuinely love it. And they reached out to me recently and they're like, we noticed that you said our cutting board oil was like your favorite finish for cutting boards. So like, let's do a sponsorship. Like, we'll pay you. Well, like, let's come up with a project and we'll do it. And I just signed an official sponsorship with them to do a really cool project.
That's amazing.
Thanks. I'm very excited.
So how long, if you don't mind me asking, how long was that relationship kind of brewing between the first time they reached out with just an offer for free product and then now when you're signing on for something paid?
It was a couple years, but that happens. Sometimes you do have to build a relationship with the brand. And I think for them, it was more just, I was very organically using their product in a lot of projects. And then when you go to my website, I always link the products that I'm using, and I would just happen to link their product all the time. I wasn't, necessarily, it wasn't forced. It was just happening. And they noticed that and they were like, let's pay you. And that was awesome.
Also, it's important to note that when they reached out to you, you mentioned this was a small company. This wasn't like a huge brand that you were just like blown away that they had messaged you. It was a smaller company, but as they grew, they took you with them on that growth. And now that they're taking on influencers, you were probably on the top of their list for sponsorships that were going to be paid because they knew your name, you were familiar to their page, you had a good relationship with the brand that you had grown over time.
And totally. And I think it's worth it too sometimes, like to say to companies, hey, I know you want to send me a free product. That's awesome. I'd love to try it. Do you think you'll have some paid opportunities in the future? And then also ask them that way so you get an idea of maybe where the relationship is going.
Yeah. I think that's really important. I saw something the other day. I think I saw it on TikTok actually, and it was advice for people that wanted to turn free product offers into paid product offers. And I think the exact thing that they said was, God, I'm trying to remember. The wording was so perfect. It was so polite and professional, but also like very clear cut. It was like, hey, my agenda is very busy. I'm only taking on paid opportunities right now. I would love to discuss a project and budgeting with you if you want to move forward. It was like very professional, but also kind of like nudging in the way of paid product. And I love that you said yes to something free and it turned into something paid, because that's just long-term work paying off on your end and on the company's.
For sure.
And something that I thought was really cool too. Ooh, is my audio crazy?
No. You sound like a robot.
Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
You're good.
Okay. Am I back on?
Yes.
Biggest robot ever.
That was like crazy for a second. Sorry, guys. Anyways, something else that you said that I really loved was this all happened authentically. You know what I mean? So this was a brand that you've been using. You were a local follower. You were engaging with this brand. You love their product. And for those of you listening right now, and this might be the first time you've heard of like local follower, that basically means, you are regularly engaging with this brand and their content and them and showing them love. It doesn't have to be like local in distance, but it can be local in your like social media circle. And that's something really important that I think that you should be a local follower to these brands. Just like all of us here right now and everyone watching, I'm sure you have local followers that you know that you can count on. Nick knows nothing. If he's watching right now, I know that he will comment on every one of my posts and I love it. And he will comment on my stories. And, I'll see Ryan and Marie, and so many people on there, by name. You have a relationship with them. And I think that's so important to do that with the brands that you like because they notice that. And so have you, Sam, ever had like a situation where you were just like a local follower, just a regular to this company, and it actually like blossomed into
totally? My first tool sponsorship was like that. I learned how to use power tools on Ryobi tools, and I always used their tools, and they were at a great price point, and they were an awesome starter for me. And eventually Ryobi willing to do a sponsorship with me because I use them so much. My shop was green. I tagged them in a lot of things. And that was my first tool sponsorship.
And didn't you, how many followers? I know your bracket was different back then, right?
Totally. I actually very fortunately was able to build a decent amount of sponsorships before I even hit 10K, which is like insanity. But it's doable, but it's totally doable. And I think, the important part here is many of them just came from organic use. I was organically using these tools. I was organically using this home improvement product. I was organically using, a certain type of wood glue. And then those companies, from consistently tagging them, were first like, hey, we want to send you some product to try out. When I was first starting, I was like, that's great. And then that then turned into long-term paid partnerships. I think at a certain level, it is okay to try out new product if you're feeling like you're passionate about it and you want to. And then eventually, you start to get to a point where you're like, all right, I'm going to, maybe take on only paid opportunities now, or ask if they only have paid opportunities now. But it's all a learning curve and you get there.
That's awesome. Now, do you feel like because you're working with so many different, let's say, products, and let's say you have your niche of art that you make, right? We got a question as well about this. Do you ever feel how do you deal with tagging brands that might be competing brands? Like if you use a certain kind of oil and then there's a different oil brand that you use as well, how do you deal with that?
I think there are two answers to this. The first answer is, I believe that a lot of different brands have different pros. So like I might use different color drills for things because this drill does well on this project and this drill does well on this project, right? And I'm just sharing my honest opinion about the drills, and they may be competing. I think the second thing is also depends on what kind of partnership you have. Sometimes you may have a partnership with a company, and that company might say like, listen, for the term of this partnership, just maybe don't work with competing brands, and you have to respect that. But that's why it's important to work with brands that you believe in, because sometimes you do sign those contracts.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yes.
And I also think that it's important the difference between before a brand has reached out to you and after. Like if you have no necessarily relationship going on with a specific brand and you're organically using competing brands of certain things, that's different than if a brand reaches out and you continue to use competing brands. I feel like then that's a little different. Am I right? Is that a little different after a brand has like reached out and tried to bring you on?
Yeah, I think like at some point there is this aspect of feeling very loyal to a brand, especially when they're partnering with you. Like they believe in you and you have to believe in them. And the whole idea with a partnership is it's a reciprocal relationship, right? Like you don't just want sponsorship to have sponsorship. You want to have a sponsorship to have a partnership. I actually prefer sometimes to call it a partnership because that's what it is. It's mutually beneficial for both parties.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I also saw there was a little micro conversation going on in the comments about, we were talking about how you got a ton of sponsorships before 10K, and we had a few people saying like, that feels impossible to even get to 10K. So I will say I got my first brand sponsorship under 1,000. So don't be intimidated by small numbers. You guys are, first of all, growing and you've got this, and it only goes up from here. But you don't have to have 10,000, 100,000 to get a brand followership. I think I was at like 700 maybe. So don't lose faith, guys. You've got this while your account is small.
But absolutely, but that circles back to what I said earlier. Sometimes engagement and community is way more important than the number of followers you have. In fact, I would argue that it's probably the best measurement of how you interact with people and like what your support is like and who you might market to. So focus on growing that community. You know, those are human beings who are following you, right? So they're real people who are following you. And that's the important part to remember. It's more than, we're all more than just a number on social media.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And to go with that, like, people are real on social media, so are brands. So another thing that I kind of want to touch on too is the like canned messages. So sometimes people might write like a canned like mass message to a bunch of different brands, and that's not the greatest, especially when the brand can go onto your page and see you're not following them, you don't use their product, you're not a local follower. So I think that's something to really be cautious of, to make sure you are really genuine with these brands, because they can tell.
Absolutely. It's a hard sell if you message a brand and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with your products. Like, you're all I use, blah, blah. And then you don't even follow them, and they will check that.
Oh,
and
yeah.
A lot of pages can see that if you follow them right before you send the message. A lot of people, like, there's places where you can input information and see when they followed you, so they can see followed you 60 seconds before they send that message.
Yep.
So
you have to build that relationship.
Really be a local to the brands that you are interested in working with in the future. Even if you're a tiny account and you're looking at like the biggest brands out there, go be a local now, because the opportunity might be there down the road.
Yeah, definitely build your relationship and put work into it. You know, like their posts, comment on their posts, show them you're supporting for a while. They're going to notice you. They notice you. So then afterwards, when you want that partnership, they're like, hey, aren't you that person that comments on my post and supports our product? And you're going to get that partnership.
Yeah. Just like Jean Anderson said, be genuine. And that's like, you just got to be genuine, be authentic, be yourself, be kind, and brands will notice.
Yep. I agree. So we were talking about the, tagging brands in, your posts and showing these brands love. So another thing that we were talking about is, if you're following the brand, follow them. If they have a hashtag, use that hashtag. Like we said again, comment and support these people. Now, I was rewatching Adam from Lazy Guy DIY is also amazing at partnerships, and he has this incredible YouTube video that we're going to share on our Maker page, so you guys can watch it too. But I was rewatching it today before our episode, and he talks about something called dress to impress, guys. So that's basically what you want to do when you're working with your brand. Just like this is what you want to.
Yes.
How'd you know I wore that outfit today?
How'd you catch me?
Why did you change? Dang it.
Sam, we need pictures of you in that outfit now. Like,
or it didn't happen.
Yeah. All right. So, guys, something that Adam talks about a lot in this video is when you make a post, it's right there in your feed. People see it once, but then within 24 to 36 hours, that video is gone. It's not on their feed. No one's going to be there again to see that. And it's not really searchable. So he talks about something called evergreen content. So this is kind of content where you can search these things. So if you have a YouTube and your content is on YouTube, people can search that with the name and it'll come up. If you have a website, people can go on your website and search for these certain affiliates, for these brand partnerships, things you can offer, certain videos. Same thing like we talked about having your link tree, right? Last week or 2 weeks ago. And, it's a place where you can send your followers to be able to go and find all these partnerships that you have built together, right? Sam, how do you feel is like the best way to, always be able to showcase these partnerships so it's in front of your audience's eyes all the time, so it's not something that they lose off of their feed within that day that they post?
So I'm going to give a little advice on the Linktree thing, because Linktree is great, but I have something better.
Ooh. Is it the Canva thing?
We're listening.
So Linktree is literally, right, you click on a link in someone's bio and it gives you options to click on different things. Mm-hmm. However, if you host your own website and you create a separate page that functions as a link tree on your actual website, you get direct traffic to your website, which helps it rank better in Google. And so when people now search for you, your website's going to rank better because Linktree is no longer stealing your traffic. So that's my first little tidbit.
So we all have to back it up and do it again. So
we're gonna after the show ends, I'm gonna ask you how to do that.
Totally, but look, Linktree is a great idea if you don't have a website right now.
Yeah,
like if you're just starting, go with Linktree and link to whatever it is, your Etsy page, your YouTube, your Insta, like whatever. But if you have an actual website, host a separate page. You can, if you guys go to my Instagram, you'll see how I did this. Click on the link in my bio. Instead of it taking you to a Linktree, it takes you to DIYhuntress.com/links. And now all of my links are hosted on my website, so I get that traffic.
And it's probably a hidden page, so you can't find it on your page, but it's there for when people click into it.
Totally. And now I get that traffic, and my page will rank better.
We literally did this 2 weeks ago, and we encouraged everyone to get a Linktree, and we all got one.
And Julie,
but Linktree is great if you don't have like a set website right now.
I don't have a website, so right now Linktree
it's just a different option. It's a different option for those of us that have websites and making websites. Listen, I'm a graphic designer, and I have a hard time sometimes like putting everything together. It takes a lot of work and time. So for those of us who, let's say, don't have a website, it's a great option. But for those of us who do, now it's time to put a little bit of work in and update that website and add that to get that traffic. That's amazing, Sam. Thank you so much.
Really awesome.
Totally. Julie posted on the community page about this. She's commenting over here, rule for you guys, it's down there. And she had like a code for it, but if you have like a different kind of website that's like mine's a block builder, so you just kind of like drag and drop stuff. So you could do it that way as well. And if you guys have any advice, go ahead and go to Julie's post and like comment on it and stuff.
Definitely.
So Sam, oh, sorry, Kelly, go.
No, I was just going to say, again, guys, if you haven't been on the makermeetup.com little community page that we have, there's so many helpful people on there. So many people in the community are on there giving tips, tricks, and also asking questions. So that is such a great resource if A, you have a question, and B, if you have advice to share. So please check that out.
Yep.
Awesome. So something else that really like resonated with me with watching Adam's video, he said, you have to, just like we talked about earlier today, you have to be authentic in your videos, in your content, and be very enthusiastic about the products you're making. But something else that he said was basically, you have to be dedicated to the content that you're making and the product that you're using. It's not just like a one-time use and then it's gone, and then you think that the brands are going to keep sending you products. So, dedication is key in building like your social media platform with the product and using it, so that when you're going to these brands, they're like, oh, this person is a fan of our product. They've used it before, and they keep showcasing it. They keep talking about it. They keep selling it. And that way it just brings a lot more value to the brands, right, Sam? So it's like, if you can't, like how long would you say you would want to, let's say, use a product before you would, message somebody or email somebody about a partnership with that product that you want to get from them?
I'm not sure there's a magic number, but I feel like it's more of if you find yourself continually naturally grabbing that product when you're doing a project, I think at some point there's a part of you that's going to be like, all right, this is my go-to product. I feel very passionately about using this. So maybe it's time to reach out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Wonderful.
Also, I just thought of this. There was a company that I reached out to when my account was just like the size of my pinky. It was so tiny. And I asked them, I'd been following them for a while. I use their products all the time. I mentioned that I was looking for collaborations. I didn't know how to do it very well back when my account was that small. But I did my best to be professional and kind. And they said no. And about 6 months down the road, they contacted me and asked me for a sponsorship and a paid one at that. So if you get a no from a company, don't be discouraged. Just keep at it. Like, just because it's a no from a company doesn't mean that you should like soil your relationship with them. First of all, because brand sponsorships and collaborations are not a personal exchange. You should be personal with brands and be familiar to them. but it's not going to be personal if it's a yes or a no. That's kind of just a business exchange. We come to like free products and money. But if it is a no, it might be a no, not right now. So just keep that in mind when you're either like reaching out to brands or hoping brands reach out to you, that if it's a no now, grow a little and keep at it and keep being a good place for brands to see showcase capabilities on you. And it might be a yes later.
I love that.
I love that.
Yeah, and Ronnie, to say like with what you just said, maybe the first time you reached out to a brand, they said no, but like if you like their product and you keep using them in your process videos and actually showing how the product is used and not just showing the final product of something, I think that helps a lot. Like showing how the product you want to keep showcasing and showing the partnership that you want to build is really important too. If you just show like, hey, look at my product, yeah, and just mention, hey, I use this saw, but like you don't show how it was used. It was never in your videos. It was never on your feed. It's not really showcasing the value of that brand. So you have to always make sure to show off the item that that you're using and not just be like, this is my final product. That's something else that Adam was talking about as well.
Awesome. Guys, go ahead, Kelly.
Oh, sorry. Mine is just such a squirrel moment, but I am dying at these comments right now with everyone saying what superheroes would we be?
Yes,
like,
so good.
Sam is Katniss Everdeen, and I'm dead.
I've never been so flattered in my entire life.
You are Katniss.
I think someone said Ronnie was Wonder Woman, and I didn't see who anyone else.
I saw one comment earlier, but then I was reading over my notes, and I guess I missed all this. But I saw someone saying, "Oh my God, Annie has Laura Croft vibes going on right now."
What's that?
Who's that?
I just thought that Hailey was blonde Kim Possible. Robin. Oh my God.
Wait, who's Impossible?
You. They said you were the Possible.
Well, I'm flattered. I want to be the naked mole rat.
Annie Croft. Y'all, can we get some sponsorships with like some like superhero movie themed stuff? Like
I would die. Wait,
just make a movie about us, y'all. You guys, somebody has to know somebody in the movie industry and just like get us a sponsorship and let them make a movie around us right now and dress us up as like superheroos.
Girl power.
Wait, and also, what are all these numbers? What is
happening?
I feel like I missed something.
How many shows Sam was on?
Oh, gotcha.
Oh my gosh, Matt asked these questions and we don't see them. They go away so fast.
Also, you guys are gross. You guys have these numbers. Like, there's so much faith in me in this comment section right now.
What's the answer?
I got like an 8,000, like 867,000. Like, I don't know.
What's the answer?
So what's the answer?
I was on Free Market Flip. And I won the Holiday Crafting Challenge on HGTV this year.
Yes! I was freaking out. I was fangirling so hard when I was watching it. I'm like, I know her.
Yes, I was fetal position, like knees up the whole time.
Oh my God. I love it. I spy with my little eye. Someone that's been following us for a hot minute. Someone said we're the Moss Angels. Do you guys remember?
Oh my gosh, I remember that. Oh, now we have to like
hot minute.
Do like a bigger angel crew now because there's like 5 of us here.
Wait, my mom just said I'm Darth Vader?
Oh, your mom.
Everyone gets like cool superheroes and I get Darth Vader.
With the lava, so I would take it as a compliment, right?
Honestly, my nickname when I was little was Hermione Granger because my hair was so floofy. Oh my gosh. So I'll take Kim Possible. All right. Well, you guys.
Bring us back in from our.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I just had to. I love it.
I think we might just have to like Photoshop us onto some superheroes, but I love that. We are kind of the rest of the evening into like kind of a live action Q&A so that you guys can get out questions that you have. And I did catch one before all the superhero talk, and it was somebody asking how often is too often to be posting. Like, is there a too often, or like how often should you be posting? And I know we all do this a little differently. My like optimal post schedule is once a day for Instagram. It's twice a day on TikTok because that is technically how often you're supposed to be posting on TikTok for the algorithm to like your account the best, but that is very advantageous. Once a day on Snapchat, and before my YouTube channel got banned, it was once a week on YouTube. But that's different for everybody. And I know that sounds like a lot up front if you have a small account. I remember someone gave me the advice to post once a day on Instagram when I was first starting out. And I was like, how am I going to make that much content? And now I'm like, yeah, I could probably post like twice a day on Instagram.
Yeah, I post a lot more than that. I think
you post a lot. Your stuff is like always on my feed. Hey, but your account's huge. It pays off. Yeah. Sam, what's your like goals for posting how often on each platform?
So I'm in the complete opposite direction of you. I only post when it's organic.
Okay.
So if I'm feeling like all right, I have like an actual organic post today, then I will post. Otherwise, I won't post if it feels forced. The only exception to that rule is YouTube, because YouTube has to be a little more consistent. So YouTube, I am posting every other weekend, which is, I have a full-time job. So for me, like juggling content creation with my full-time job can be a lot. And I've learned that for me, I can only juggle 2 videos a month for YouTube. So that's what I do. And that's why for Instagram, like I only post when it's organic and I'm feeling like I have something to just share.
I like that it works both ways, that when you have the content, you post it, and that's worked out really well for your page. And then I push out content like super consistently, and both of those have worked out. I mean, obviously your following, especially on YouTube, is massive. Yeah. So that's awesome.
I think we've talked about this. It's like, posting when it's important content and not empty content, because the empty content isn't going to get as much engagement and it's going to bring your algorithms down, and you don't want to do that. So it's better to skip a post as opposed to posting an empty post, and just put important and good value content on your pages.
I think that goes back to quality over quantity type deal. Like, it's cool to put out a ton of posts, but like you want to make sure there's something valuable in there for people to take away.
Yeah,
and then I also want to
for woodworkers. So the scale of your projects is usually like much bigger than mine. Like I might make a ring dish and post a video of the ring dish, and that maybe took me like an hour or two, versus your woodworking projects might take you a few weeks to do per thing.
Oh, yes.
Depending on what it is. I mean, I've dabbled, like tipped my toe into woodworking and immediately found out like this is a time investment. So I'm sure content for you comes a lot slower as well, because the process is just so egregious.
I think that's an important thing to point out, though, is if you're someone like me who posts woodworking and custom furniture and home improvement stuff, you can still have moments where you post the process, because it's fun to have people follow along with the process. When I made my Murphy bed, I was like on stories every day being like, what did I get myself into? And then it took me 4 weeks to build it when I thought it would take me 5 days. But it was so worth it when the end result went live, because everyone was like so stoked on it. So I think like even when your process is longer for a project, you can still share bits and pieces of that as you go. And that sometimes is even more valuable.
Yeah, and I do want to mention that Amy in the comments right now, she was saying that your stories are so awesome. So she notices that.
Thanks, baby.
Your seriously, your stories, you do them so well. By the way, like you can tell how like well curated your stories are, and it's really entertaining. So yeah, you might not be posting every single day on your main feed. You are keeping up with everything on stories, and that's like just as engaging.
Yeah, most days it's like my dog licking my face and then me being like, what did I get myself into with this project? So if you guys are into that, come follow me.
It's real. That's natural. That's authentic.
We all said dogs on our stories. Every single maker that I know and I follow has their doggies and their pets and their loved like little fluffers on their stories. And I think it's become part of like the maker world, where on our stories we share our little animals that are our support, and I pretty love that. I love seeing everybody's animals. So
same.
You guys have questions, throw them into the comments. I just caught one. Doing a process video, do you suggest iMovie or something other? So I use Splice. It is the GoPro official editing app, and it's right on my phone. It's so easy to use. It was really user friendly. I know good things about iMovie as well.
That I use currently.
Kelly uses iMovie. Anna, you use it.
I used iMovie for my YouTube videos for so long. I just switched over to Premiere like 6 months ago.
I use Premiere.
I'm going to be taking classes on it.
Okay, Premiere is like Premiere, guys, is Premiere Pro from Adobe. It is you pay for it. So iMovie is, if you have an iPhone, it's usually free on there. So I'd start with there.
Yeah, and guys, remember we did a couple weeks ago when we asked you guys to do the process video. I have a little tutorial on our feed on our Instagram where you can go view it, and I kind of talk about all the buttons and where do you go to add audio, where do you go to, you know, how to cut and paste, how to do all of the different things. So if you guys have never used iMovie, it's a really great tutorial, really straightforward, and you can kind of get the basics of the app.
Yep.
Ooh, I see a question.
Go.
I'm like raising my hand like we're in school. I see something about royalty-free music. So there are lots of really awesome app subscriptions websites that will have you can use royalty-free music. I use one called Epidemic Sounds, and it was recommended to me from Mike from Modern Builds, and it's $15 a month. You can get thousands and thousands of songs that are royalty-free to use in your videos, and they link to your account so that you never get dinged for using any of the songs. It's like the best money I've spent ever on my content creation.
That's awesome.
I love that.
One little ding from a copyright, either on YouTube or on Instagram, is such a hard slap on your hand, and you're gonna suffer a little while until you get that algorithm back up. It's like
totally.
I'd say that's a great investment if you're focusing on YouTube and video content and stuff like that to build a following for a video thing.
And you can use it as a tax write-off to anything that you purchase and you do for that kind of stuff. It's beneficial to your brand. It's certain things you have to pay money for and get like the good foundations of things to be able to make good content. It's part of the business. It's part of the money and the expenses that you have to go through.
Yeah, and Ryan just mentioned too that Instagram has been flagging like crazy if you're using not royalty-free music or something like that. So I know I use Envato for my royalty-free music, and I absolutely love it. I don't have to stress about it. Like that's the major thing. It's just like I know that I'm clear when I'm using it, and it's great stuff.
I use the music off of iMovie. They have tons of music. They have poppy music, springy music, like themed music. There's so much. And again, I show how to use it in that little tutorial, but I use that. If I film things for my YouTube and I film with my fancier cameras, like with my Canon and not my phone, I will use my Adobe programs. I'll use Premiere. I put things into After Effects as well, and I get into a little bit more of my animation background where I color correct, add intros and effects and all this kind of stuff. But Premiere or iMovie, again, whatever you're comfortable with, and you can grow and learn. Once you get iMovie down, you want to do Premiere one day, get a 1-month subscription and try it.
Absolutely. And there's lots of free music options on Splice as well. I had someone down in the comments say something about, can't you just tag the music artist? And actually on Instagram, you can't just tag them in your caption. it doesn't count as crediting the music. Your video will still get flagged, which is
someone mentioned, and this is a great point, because I follow people and they're using popular songs and I'm like, how are they doing that? And it's because they always make it at least 28 or less seconds. So they're not getting dinged for that. And you will show up, it'll take your video down if you get dinged.
It's sometimes also, I have a friend that works for Instagram and I asked him this question, and he said to me that sometimes it happens that the robots of Instagram won't catch it, but eventually they will catch a video and bring it down. But that's why they made Reels, because if you make a video that's 30 seconds or less, you can use any music that's off of the Instagram app, and your video is going to be bomb diggity with the hottest song right now, and you're not going to get flagged on it, and it's going to be fine. So that I kind of do different posts throughout the day. So if I do, I make sure I use Reels sometimes to have that kind of video. Sometimes IGTV, sometimes just a regular photo picture. You know, you play around and do different things. But when I know I want to use a popular song, I definitely make sure it's a Reel.
Yeah.
Yep.
I also had the question, does it take anyone else absolutely forever to do your editing? And yes, it does. I can speak for the group when I say the editing sometimes takes me almost as long as the creating does. It is just like one of those, oh my gosh, what are they called? Like things that are necessary, but they suck. Necessary evil.
The editing takes me like, the editing takes me, for a 15-minute video on YouTube, it can take me like 15 hours to edit that.
Yeah.
Same.
It's crazy.
Same.
So this is why it's so important to show people like love and appreciation on social media is because you don't know what's going into behind it. Especially like you would see a 15-minute YouTube video and think like, oh, I don't need to like, I don't need to comment. I enjoyed it, but I'm not going to share it. And you don't know first of all, 15 hours possibly that it took to edit it together on top of the actual creation process of the content that it took that you had to edit together. Like what goes on behind the scenes is so much more than just like, I'm painting today. It's like, it's so much more than that. And so, yeah, you're not alone. It does take us all forever to edit our videos.
And
well,
by the way,
go ahead, Kelly.
I was just going to say, if anyone had any other just like real quick spitfire questions about sponsorship, this is the time to ask them because we have about 10 minutes with the expert who is Sam. So this is prime time.
Exactly. So Kelly, you took the words out of my mouth. So that's what I was going to say. Perfect.
I say like expert because there's always so much more to learn. Like I feel like that's the beauty with sponsorships and with partnerships is you never really got it down pat fully, which is fine. There's always more to learn. The algorithm's always changing. Expectations are always changing. What brands are looking for are always changing. Hey, content creation, online advertising is a very new form of advertising that a lot of companies are now investing in instead of traditional advertising. So this is a continually growing process that we can all grow alongside these brands with.
Yeah. And here's a quick question for you. Have you ever said no to sponsors?
Yes, I have for varying different reasons. But like I said earlier, I have a full-time job and sometimes it's just impossible for me to fit things into my schedule. I have a very like organized process where I'm like, all right, I only know I can handle X amount of projects per month. If a sponsorship comes in and it doesn't fit into my schedule, I say no because there's a price on my sanity as well. And I do feel like, you know, if I'm not going to be happy making the project, it's not going to come out well. And I don't want that. I want quality over quantity.
Yeah. So we have another question. Is it possible to tag a product too often or too much? Does it become annoying for a brand?
I don't work from the brand side, so I wouldn't know. However, what I would say is I don't think it hurts to tag the brands you're using. I mean, at the end of the day, it gets filtered into their own little tab. So I mean, will they get notifications? Of course. I think if you're like posting 25 times a day and like tagging them, maybe you're going to like inundate them. But if you're posting organically and you're sharing them organically, I don't think they're going to mind.
And I would say have it make sense. So if you're like doing a video of you brushing your teeth and you're tagging like an epoxy company and there is nothing to do with epoxy in that video, don't tag the company. Have it make sense.
Before it goes away, someone asked what's the best way to reach out formally by, I assume, what they think is an email or website or through DMs. And I think that's a great question. Sam, how do you feel about that?
I think that most formal negotiations should probably be made in email, like having a true conversation with the brand, because what you want to find out when you're working with the brand and what they want to find out from you is how this is reciprocal. What is your idea? How is this going to work? Let's bounce things back and forth. Doing that through DM is not so formal. And I think it feels more like, hey, I'm going to slide into your DMs. And like, that's, I feel like, all right, like, I think if you're DMing a brand to be like, hey, do you work with partners? Do you have a partnership program? Do you have an email or a connection I can reach out to? I think that's different, but I wouldn't necessarily say like go full blown on trying to pitch in DMs.
Yeah, so use the DMs more as like a segue to a more professional platform than to use it as your pitching platform, right?
Ask for that first date in the DMs, but like don't ask for the second date in the DMs.
I love that. That is
spicy.
I saw someone asking about cameras. I know almost all of us use our iPhones. Sam, with YouTube, I bet you've got a camera. Do you use a camera?
Yeah, so I actually just upgraded my camera to like a big girl camera this year. Which was an investment. So yes, I have invested in a pretty expensive Canon at this point. But again, I use investment and not like, you know, I'm not mad about that because it is an investment. So if you feel like content creation is in your future and you want to get serious about it, you do have to invest in the right equipment at some point. It doesn't mean you need to like go all out right away, but at least, you know, save some of the money you're making from your hustle to get some of that equipment.
Absolutely. And there's plenty of starter cameras This one is a Canon G7X. It was like $300 used. I know that is kind of expensive, but I did save up for a while. Like I sold a piece. I was like, I think I can buy this now. So just go in increments, and one day, like if you need a better one, then like it's an investment.
Yeah.
Oops. Okay, so I think Annie has one more question, and then we're gonna go ahead and hit our outro.
I do. So this question, Sam, I was all day long today. I was getting ready. I was working my studio, and I kept watching that video from Adam from Lazy Guy DIY, and it's incredible. I actually watched that video 2-3 times last year as well because Matt sent it to me. He talked about how paid sponsorships changed over the past year because there's so many more micro influencers now in the industry. And he was talking about how, before when people would get paid to, show a product, it would be hashtag ad or hashtag sponsored or something like that. And he talked about how that changed into how people work with affiliate links now and having codes and stuff. And, people stopped trusting kind of the hashtag ad or whatever. And the way everyone's doing it now with affiliates and stuff, it's kind of the way the market is spreading more. How do you feel about that? Like when you do, when you see posts on your feed and it says hashtag ad or hashtag sponsored, do you feel like that's forced for people?
I personally don't, but that's because I only take on sponsorships that I believe in. I think you'll never scroll on my feed and you'll be like, check out this pimple cream I just used. Hashtag ad. Like that makes no sense, but
I see accounts do that, and it always just makes me hurt a little on the inside. I'm like, you really sold your soul, didn't you?
I get companies that message me from pillow companies all the time, and I'm like, what do you want me to do? Like, put my pillow on my desk and sleep on it? I don't know. So I feel like it would be forced. But if I see an ad off of somebody saying that from a craft, a paint or moss or something like that, I naturally would trust it. But it just kind of strung a chord with me on the video when I was watching it, how the industry changed in the way they're using the sponsorships or showing it.
And look, here's my thing. As a content creator, I try to give love to my fellow content creators when they are posting sponsored content, because I do recognize a brand is looking at that. A brand is saying, okay, there's engagement here. How is this post doing? And so for me, it's kind of knowing how it works from the other way or the other side of things. If I see friends who are posting hashtag ad, hashtag sponsored or sponsored content, I'm trying to engage with that content because I want to support them. So that's why for me, it's it's harder for me because I'm not necessarily always only a consumer. I'm also creating content that may also be sponsored. However, again, I only want to have sponsored content that makes sense and that is organic and that I genuinely believe in.
If it's organic, so if it's something that's organic and it works with your brand and you believe in it, it shouldn't be a problem because it's going to be part of your brand and flow smoothly. So it shouldn't be a problem at all to anyone.
Yeah.
Totally. And I just saw a really quick thing about having to be legally required to post that you're partnering. Yes, that is correct. That's why there's a paid partnership tool now that comes on social media. But so, if you're looking at something, it should say ad sponsored paid partnership.
Yep. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, you guys, this has been so much fun. And we had our little housekeeping things at the beginning, we're also going to do some reminders at the end whenever we have any. So a couple reminders and hot tips for this episode is we are currently working on planning next week's episode. So we want you guys to be involved in this. So then to prep for it, by Saturday at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, make sure you post about the MM or on the MM page, and Annie's going to tell you what to post and where to post it and all that and what it is.
Guys, so season 2 has been incredible, and we've basically every episode have taught you guys about different things, about social media etiquette, how to grow your business, how to have a beautiful Instagram page, how to look like a fully branded, beautiful page, right? So you guys have excelled so much, and we want to know what your growth has been, and we want to know what you feel your biggest achievement has been with your business during season 2. And we're going to showcase you guys next episode. So next episode, it's going to be all of you guys. We're going to show off your businesses, your pages, and we again want to know what you feel for yourself is your biggest accomplishment. So if you go to the Maker Meetup website, I've created a group called Episode 7 Milestones. All you have to do is go over there, click on it, get to the group, and leave a little paragraph. Tell us about, again, what you feel your biggest growth was. If you want to add a picture or something or some number, whatever you want to do.
Shots from the season that we've been telling you every week to do. I hope you've been doing them. You've got your screenshots. Now's the time to post them and show us your growth.
Yeah, so awesome. we're gonna pick a handful of you guys, and we are gonna talk about all of you guys next week. So we're super excited for that. So make sure you post because we need to pick off of the MM page.
And then also make sure on your MM profile on the community, make sure you have your Instagram handle linked in your little bio. So you can link your Instagram on there so we can also find you on there. And Kate Creates, I see you with the Kelly Bob Ross. That better be in your thing. So
yes. And I'm just going down the list here that I have. So the next thing is you guys killed it on the Maker Meetup code that we had, the VIP Maker. It was insane. You guys did such an amazing job naturally intertwining that within your content. I wish it went on like longer, you know, because it was just so awesome.
Yeah.
Wait, can we though? Like, are we?
Sure,
am I gonna?
You know, we could ask for permission, or we could ask for forgiveness.
Well,
ask for forgiveness and extend it the whole season.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I think we should.
Let's do it.
So, I'm really scared because I have a meeting tomorrow.
Kelly's gonna get in trouble. It's her idea.
We'll let Kelly take the heat on it, but for you guys, you can take it to the end of the season, and Kelly will just fall on the sword for us. Okay?
So make sure you guys know that you can use that code yourselves, but it's mainly for promoting your affiliate links. So you have that link and you want to promote that code so that people click on your link and use that code with it. So then you get the credit. So that's what it's for originally. So make sure you're doing it that way if you want to get it counted for and you're using the right link. So the next thing we want to say, hopefully we don't get in trouble for that, but it's like,
I'm like, oh, sorry.
The next thing is Patreon. We have our Patreon set up. We walked through it again this week to make sure that we have everything in the priority tiers that are correct. And so basically, there are 4 tiers that I don't think we described them, so I'm going to describe them.
Yep.
The first tier is a sticker club. So basically, you are a member for 3 months, you immediately get 5 stickers. You also get polling content, which means if we take a poll and stuff like that and have like other back end things that we want to ask people, you will be the first we ask. The second tier remind me, I believe you get a mug, but you're also a member of the sticker club. So it rolls over, everything piles on. It's like a stack. And so then the third tier, you get the sticker club. I'm not reading the comments. You
Matt calendar.
You don't get the shirtless Matt photos. I'm sorry.
Maybe someday. Ryan, if we come out with a calendar, you know we're going to make you be in it, right?
And the mix, we're going to get all the boys on it.
So the Patreon, so the third tier, and the link is in our bio on the Maker Meetup Instagram and on all of our bios, I believe, link in bio. And the third tier, you get literally a monthly call with us, like a video chat with all of us. So, but you're in the videos with us. So it's not just comments, like you're here talking like this.
Hailey, are you talking about the Discord?
Yes.
So that's not video, it's audio.
Say it again.
It's not video, it's audio. It's like Clubhouse.
Okay, so it'll be like Clubhouse, or there's another platform that we can do a video, like a Zoom, basically, with you guys. I think that would be honestly like a lot more fun.
That'd be amazing.
So we might figure out how to do a little Zoom. I think I'm a member on there anyways, so I'll have like unlimited people's. And then that's the third tier, so it stacks with the mug and the sticker club, and we'll be releasing stickers frequently, so it's not just those 5. You'll get more and more and more. And then the last one, you get all that and a freaking hoodie with the Maker Meetup.
Should I?
Go.
Hold on. Don't say anything important.
Okay, I'm not saying anything important. The only other thing is instead of a monthly call for that, it's a weekly call with you guys.
Let's see it. Let's see it. Let's see it.
Wait, did I get one of those for being a guest? I need one of those.
I know. To do guest hoodies. It's got a pocket in the front, drawstrings. Like this is a nice hoodie.
Y'all, we got merch. We got merch, y'all. This is so exciting. I'm so happy.
I'm so excited.
I like that Reese and Ryan are both like totally down to be in the calendar.
I love it.
He's gonna have his guitar.
We might need to have a thing, like a calendar.
We need to make a Meetup calendar just with like
the men.
Yes.
With the men.
No, but how about the women?
Not men.
But like
we got like you think probably.
But you think fireman calendar, like
Maker
so that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah,
Maker men.
And be with their like
that's what they Stop. So okay, I'm sorry, we got on a tangent, but so that's like a bunch of fun stuff, and we're always going to be adding to those tiers. So it's not like a one and done thing. The last tier we talk to you weekly. So after our Maker Meetups lives, we'll go weekly right into it afterwards. So 9 p.m. Eastern, whatever PM other times. And we would have like a nice video chat with you guys for like 30 minutes, just hanging out, shooting the crap. I want to be PG. So
hangouts instead of episodes. It'll be more like we're just get together with our pals.
Exactly. It'll be fun, like coffee chat kind of vibes. And so, or drinks, whatever, happy hour. And so, yes, Sam's like, yes. And so,
drinks on there.
I love it. My water. So the last thing I want to do before I announce the challenge is announce our $200 winner for tonight, because we did pick one while you guys were all commenting and engaging. And that winner is drum roll. Gem 70. I don't know your real name. I need your real name. But you can just DM us and we will get you your
Congratulations.
Congrats. Woo, woo, woo.
Oh my god. That's really awesome. Hopefully
are you guys go ahead. What did you say?
I said hopefully they see that.
I'll find them. I think I know who it is.
Okay.
I'm checking.
And we will find you. I'm sorry. And then the challenge for this week, you guys. So this is the last thing, and then we will be done with you for the evening. But the challenge for this week is to post a photo or video and make sure you're tagging every single brand that you're using within the photo or video, but make it feel organic and natural, like Sam has been talking about this whole evening. Just very organic and just naturally, like you're not getting paid to do this, but you already purchased these products to show. And then you're going to explain kind of why you love them, but naturally, like this is the best. It can be simple. It doesn't have to be harping on it. It can be like, I love this is my favorite for this or that.
Yeah.
And then make sure that you're already following those brands and you are truly following all the brands you love, so that this plants the seed for you being that OG follower. So that's your challenge. Make sure you get them in by Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard, 6 p.m. PST, Kelly?
Yep.
Yes. Okay. Hashtag the Maker Meetup and tag us as well so that we see them.
Yes,
and then
that has worked before. So, and I forgot who did this, but they had a brand reach out to them because of their video that they made. We actually featured it as one of our spotlight videos a while ago. And they got featured. So definitely do this. It will be awesome.
Yes. And you guys, thank you so much tonight. We're going to go ahead and tell us where you can find one another. So I'm Hailey. You can find me at Artist Hailey Nolin on Instagram and TikTok. And I have a podcast called the Hey It's Hey Podcast. And I have a website, HaileyNolin.com. Ronnie.
I'm Ronnie Langley from RLL.designs. You can find me at Ronnie Langley on TikTok and RLL.designs on Instagram. I have a website, RonnieLangley.com, where you can buy art and shop the items that I use for my resin art. And Sam, why don't you tell us who you are?
Sure. You can find me at All Things DIY Huntress. I'm on Instagram. I am on TikTok, slowly posting to TikTok. Haven't quite figured that out yet. I'm going to be hitting you ladies up for that. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm definitely trying to grow that as much as possible. And my website is DIYhuntress.com, and I have a contact form there in case anybody has any questions or wants to learn more about sponsorships.
Love it.
Amazing. Awesome. Hi, loves. I'm Annie. You can find me anywhere at if you just search Annie's Art Studio. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm on YouTube. I'm on TikTok. You go to anniesartstudio.com. You can find me there. Also, I have a new tab on my website, guys, my shop tab, and there's a lot of fun goodies for all your resin projects there. So check it out.
And I am Kelly. You can find me here at KellyBelly62 and also Creatively Kelly. I'm on Instagram and TikTok and Snapchat and Pinterest and, you know, just some fun stuff. So you can find me there. And I think we might have a couple outro videos. So once we say goodbye, make sure to maybe stay on a little.
Yeah, we don't know what these are.
Everyone, please give a huge thank you to Sam for joining us today as well.
Thank you, Sam.
This was awesome. Thank you for having me.
Incredible.
This was awesome. I want to hang out with you ladies all the time.
Yes.
Absolutely. Please.
Come on over to Florida with no air conditioning.
You're welcome to this anytime, Mom.
You guys are all amazing. Thank you so much for joining us this episode. Y'all rock.
Have a great rest of your day. Thanks for watching us.
You guys are the best.
Stop.
That was amazing.
Was it warped for anyone else? I just looked like I had.
It was warped. It was like
booties.
Fun mirror.
That was